Where the fuck did they go? We have talked a bunch about the benefits of using thermal in conjunction with your night vision.
But what if you're using binos? What if your tasks include urban setting, high-speed activities which need the capabilities of binos? That's where the Falconclaw Thermal Overlay comes into play. What is it and what does it do? So basically, it's a small thermal device that attaches in front of your night vision device, and it projects a thermal image through your tube, giving you either a highlight or an outline of the thermal signature. It attaches to the front of your night vision device with a metal ring, and it's compatible with all PVS-14 style optics. Basically, I'm still using a night vision device, but anything hot gets outlined or highlighted.
Okay, but why do you need it?
The night vision device actually does struggle in some scenarios, especially indoors, like we have here.
Night vision is not magic. It gives you the ability to quickly navigate around, but there's still often dark areas which the night vision can't see into. Maybe you're just walking in a hallway, you're looking at doors, and the doors look like black squares. You can't see inside the rooms where there's no light.
I mean, you could have the best night vision device, the best specs on your tubes, but if there is no light, there is no light to
You go into
intensify.
a basement and you have to have either extra IR light, or now you can also have thermal. And it's not only indoors. Walking around outdoors during the night, same things. There's dark spots that you just can't see into with your night vision.
Big coniferous trees like pines and spruce trees have these really dark spots underneath that night vision can't really detect what's under there. But a small thermal device like this will highlight anything that's hiding there.
Yeah, if you have ever used night vision before, you definitely know what we're talking about. If you haven't, then you need to experience it for yourself. But it comes adamant pretty quickly that night vision is not magic and it just falls short somewhere.
We will give you a lot of different scenarios and demonstrations from inside and outside buildings where this device would actually shine. It does have some downsides, but any device has.
So we have talked a bunch about monocular, night vision monocular and thermal monocular combination. It's a very good setup, I would say, but you need to take it slow. You can't be driving cars, blasting doors, because you need depth perception and binos for that.
You can. It's going to be really slow and clumsy. You can get better at it with more training, but you will always be better if you can use two eyes. That's what this device is for.
So I would say the main conclusion is that if your mission profile is more like outdoors, wilderness focused, recce, conventional combat, then the dedicated thermal with monocular night vision and dedicated thermal really shines.
Yeah, no question. It outperforms this one in every way.
But if you're doing CQB, urban stuff, police work, anything like that, this thing just rocks the whole building.
Let's go try it out. Now we're gonna see how the thermal overlay performs outdoors from a distance and close by. We have someone laying on the side of the road pretty close by, less than 100 meters, covering up the thermal sensor. You see a dark spot, but you can't really identify anything there. The thermal, you can see that's a silhouette of a person. Now, this is 15-20 meters away, someone walking behind some trees and some brush. If you cover up the thermal, then you wouldn't be able to tell that there's anything there. There's a lot of movement in the trees and in the bushes, so without the thermal, it would be invisible. Here, walking pretty much in the open, but there's some branches in front of us. Same deal, covering up the sensor, the person is invisible. Now, of course, comparing it with the dedicated thermal like the Falcon 640, you do not get the same detail and quality and distance, but it will highlight the location where something is hidden, so you know where to look at least. It doesn't give you much more than that, but I would say that that's the most important part, is the detection that something is there.
There's a person in your field of view, can you see him?
So at first glance when I came here, I saw a bunch of rocks over there and just some vegetation. And right now the ambient light is pretty much, this is the lightest night you can have.
It's ideal night vision conditions.
Yeah, so it's almost feels like daytime, but I can't actually distinguish anything out of ordinary for me if I was just walking around the path here.
Okay, stand up.
And yeah, he's right there. So he doesn't even have any like ghillie or camouflage on him. It's just multicam and laying down.
Yeah, it was just like in a crawling position pretty much.
So that was pretty much out in the open. Let's find like a dark spot.
So again, we have a person right in our field of view. Can you spot him?
I know where he is. I saw where he went, but I cannot see him.
Yeah, there's perfect line of sight. He's not camouflaged in any way. Walk towards us! Yeah, close the illuminator.
Yeah, I can't see shit.
Go back in! Bam, he's gone.
Yeah, so that's the problem with night vision. Here it's pretty good ambient light right there. The canopy cuts off the ambient light and virtually invisible.
Yep.
Right now, observing the whole building from a distance, I see through most of the windows if they're broken, but the night vision only sees like a black rectangle, but with the thermal I can immediately tell that there's someone on the second floor in the middle window. And when I cover up the thermal, then he pretty much disappears. Next, we're going to take a look at how the Falconclaw Thermal Overlay works in an urban setting. Right now, we're looking at a room that's around 5 meters to 10 to 15 meters back there at the end of the hallway. I can see very fine what's in here. But down there, if someone is there, I have no fucking idea. And see, that's the person right there. And I have the night vision device does not give me that information right now.
Yeah, otherwise, some people wouldn't even understand that there's a hallway over there. It's just a wall of darkness.
Now we have a photonic barrier, so there's a hallway or a staircase which has light in it. We're in a dark spot and there's a dark room in front of us. With the night vision, all I can see is a black doorway. Now, when I turn on the thermal overlay, then a person just appears in the middle of the doorway, completely invisible to the night vision. Now we're observing a long hallway with several doors, and we're gonna see someone peeking out for just a second and see how well the thermal picks it up versus just plain night vision. Now, when looking at the small room over there, it's completely dark in there. There's no light coming into it. There's some light in our area, so I cannot see into that room, but whoever's in there can see me. And when I have the thermal, then that person is highlighted and I can't see anything through the other tube. It's just a square of black. An extra feature that this one has when you're using it outdoors is it has a heads-up display, which is going to give you your bearing, which makes navigating a lot easier.
Quick side note, we don't recommend that you run the heads-up display all of the time, because usually you have your device mounted always on the same spot, which means that the heads-up display will be constantly on at the same spot, and this can cause burn-in on your night vision device. So make sure you're not running the Falconclaw Thermal Overlay at maximum brightness at all times, because it can slightly damage your night vision. Our recommendation is to use the heads-up display only when you need it for navigation, and otherwise you can disable it and don't run it at max brightness to save your tubes.
Now we're testing the max range of the thermal overlay. So we got a straight road. We're gonna keep going down it until can't detect the person anymore. Then you can adjust the focus in the front a little bit and push it maybe even further than 500 meters. Let's go see. Just finished testing the max range. In current conditions, it was about 300 meters where you can identify a person, but it can go up to 500, highly depending on the environmental situation or the environment you're in.
Yeah, currently the road was hot and we didn't have, the same road was our backdrop, so it was hard to distinguish us past 300, but if your backdrop is a forest and you're standing at the edge of it, then I have used the same device and saw heat signatures from around 5 to 600 too. Yeah. So yeah, highly dependent on conditions, but
that's not the goal of this
main
device.
takeaway is that it's a 1x device. There's no optical zoom. It's meant for your nodes, so you're on your 1x range, what you can see with your eye. So that's how far you can shoot with your rifle. This is the effective distance of the thermal overlay.
Let's take a look at the improvements that this model has over the previous one. First off the bat, as you saw from the previous clips, is the image quality. It's a lot crisper, more clear. You get more details in the thermal image itself, and it's a lot smoother. So overall, the quality of what you see is going to be a lot better. Next, it has a wider field of view. So the older model had 30 degrees, this one has 35, so it fills up more of your night vision tube. Scanning around with this model, due to its improved refresh rate, it's a lot smoother, there's less lag, so the thermal image doesn't lag so much behind like the older model. The user interface on this one is much better in terms, it's easier to understand and follow and navigate. Heads-up display gives you direction, it's easier to follow, and the menu is much easier to navigate with these buttons. The form factor has greatly improved, so it feels and looks more rugged. The controls, so the older one was using this wheel and pressing on it. It was really easy to accidentally activate it or turn it. This one has buttons which are really tactile and easier to manipulate, and also improvements on the whole housing. In conclusion, it's a lot smaller and lighter while still maintaining its ruggedness. Feels very solid in your hand. The older one kind of felt flimsy at times. One of the best improvements about the new model is the battery solution. It also comes with a battery pack in the same package. You don't have to buy a different model for it. Using the CR123 makes your whole night vision setup a lot lighter, but I would actually prefer to use the battery pack, which has two 18650 batteries, making the battery life a lot longer and takes even this battery weight off the front of your helmet and putting it in the back, acting kind of as a counterweight. This gives you the option to choose whether to run a battery or a battery pack, which you didn't have with the older model. With the CR123 battery, it's going to last you around 3 hours, and with the battery pack, it's going to be up to 10 hours. You can have it going all night without you running out of battery. Improved lens cap, it pulls out of the way really easily and gets fixed on the side. The new model has an improved lens. First of all, it's bigger than the old one, giving you better image quality, and it's also focusable, which allows you to focus near or far. There is a sweet spot where we would recommend you have it, where you can see near and far, but if you want, you can put it at a setting where you can see things in focus that are really far away, taking away the near sight. That might be useful if you want to pick up on heat signatures that are further than maybe 500 meters away. And it also comes with a remote, so you can shuffle through the menu options without having to find those buttons on your device, and have it somewhere where you know it's comfortable and you can maybe access things faster. And it feels super light. It's 62 grams, which is a lot less than the older one. There are two modes on this, outline and highlight mode. You can adjust their brightness and intensity. Outline mode, as you might expect, it outlines the shape of, let's say, a person, and highlight just highlights it, makes it look brighter than the rest of the environment. Couple of important menu options that this thermal has. This thermal has a function called breathing, which switches the thermal image on and off. You can change how fast it does it, so it's called breathing, and it looks like breathing. So it highlights and then it turns off. It highlights, turns off. Where would you use this? Let's say in a hot environment where you have a lot of heat signatures and you don't want your night vision to be crowded or there's too much noise, or you're in an urban environment where there are a lot of hot things like radiators, cars, whatever, and you don't want to have that hot signature in your night vision all the time, so it kind of turns on and off. Second one is dormancy, which means that it's gonna turn off the thermal, but it's gonna show you the heads-up display, so it gives you the direction in your night vision goggles, which is good for navigation. There is an auto standby feature. When you toggle it on, what it does is if there's no movement for 1 minute, it's gonna go on standby, and if there's no movement for 10 minutes, it's gonna turn off. Next is flip up, turn off, which means when you flip up your nodes, the thermal is gonna turn off, saving power, and when you flip it back down, it's gonna activate again. When using the thermal overlay device on your binos, it greatly improves your situational awareness. When you're looking around, you can keep track of your own guys. Let's say you're walking in a formation. It's really easy to just look at your own guys. You find them right away. You can keep in line, whatever. And also you can spot heat signatures up to 500 meters away. But this doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a dedicated thermal like this one with you, because it'll give you a signature, but it's not detailed enough as it would be with a dedicated one. Up to 500 meters, you can tell that something or someone is there, but to PID, you would need something with better resolution and more detail. If you have a monocular, get the dedicated thermal, but if you are running binos, it's a no-brainer upgrade. Definitely the best upgrade you can get for them. Final conclusion: for such a small and simple and fairly cheap thermal device, it gives a lot of capability on your binos, or if you're running a monocular. If you have those dark spots in the woods, under trees, in the buildings, then and you have tried this, I wouldn't want to go exploring those areas without one.
I would say it's quite surprising how many photonic barriers and dark spots and stuff that you can't see into with your night vision is actually in a basic urban environment. Like just during this filming, there was even more than I expected.
And you don't realize that unless you have tried a thermal, because with the night vision, you just skip over those because you don't see in them. You think it's magic that you see everywhere, but you actually don't. Magic is having these two together.
And this is the only way how you can stay passive in all your means, because otherwise if you see a dark spot, let's say it's a doorway or end of a hallway where there's not enough light, then you have to use IR. And if you have a peer adversary, then that's a no-go. So this is literally the only thing that will save you in this situation.
It's so small.
Yeah, plus the other benefit that you have depth perception with binos. You can sprint, run, you can do very dynamic stuff. Yeah, as we saw from the range test, after 500 meters, it kind of like gets too blurry to identify different people and stuff. But on your effective range, you are effective in with your rifle. You have perfect situation awareness in that small bubble. I would say up to 300 to 500 meters. And after that, just go for the thermal. I would say like slope-based wilderness, large-scale conventional stuff, I would go for dedicated thermal. But fast-paced urban stuff and anything like running binos, this is no question.
So ideal setup would be to have binos, this one and this one on your weapon.
Exactly, and that's what you want to do.
If you don't buy, you die.